Welcome, you're watching Times Now with me, Priya Behel. The story that we're tracking for you right now is coming from the Election Commission and the notice that has been sent out by the poll body. Striking out at the rampant practice of offering freebies to voters, the Election Commission of India has now asked political parties to provide authentic information to the public in order to assess the financial implications as well as the viability of the promises that they make before elections. The purpose behind the move is set to inform the voters that if the parties can deliver what they promise during the polls. Whether centre welcomed the move, opposition has called it anti-democratic.
I do not know on what basis Election Commission is saying this, because when we make a poll promise, obviously it is based on some sort of research and analysis. I think to ask how many beneficiaries, the nitty-gritty, that only when you're in government you can do. So Election Commission, I think, is asking for too much. You can't take away the right of a political party to make a poll promise based on whatever it feels is right. So if there is anything illegal while implementing it after they come to power, that can be questioned in the court of law. And suppose if they cannot fulfill a promise, that doesn't mean that they should be hanged.
एक constitutional संस्थान है इलेक्शन कमीशन, और उसको अपना दायरा तय कर लेना चाहिए, उसका कार्य क्षेत्र क्या है उस पे काम करना चाहिए। इलेक्शन कमीशन का काम नहीं है, तो उनको अपने सिलेबस पे, जो आप कह रहे हैं, अपने सिलेबस पे ही फोकस करना चाहिए। इलेक्शन भारत में अच्छा हो, बिल्कुल ट्रांसपेरेंट हो और डेमोक्रेटिक जो वैल्यूज़ हैं वो मजबूत से मजबूत हो, इसके लिए इलेक्शन कमीशन काम करे।
Madhav now joins us from the news pit for more perspective on this story. Madhav, is it a case of Election Commission's overreach or has it touched a raw nerve?
Well, it certainly is a very sensitive issue, and the Election Commission, while in the court, had said that it would like to stay away because it is not empowered. There is no legal framework which would actually empower it to take, such appropriate action. But clearly, on the basis of what the Supreme Court has said, the Election Commission, in its letter yesterday to all political parties, had said that it is doing so on the basis of what the Supreme Court has said in the past, and therefore is issuing this pro forma, which it wants to discuss with political parties. Some amount of feedback has been taken. They want to further, on the 17th of October, discuss with political parties, both state and national parties, as to how better perhaps to implement this particular move. But yes, there are several ifs and buts. Political parties already questioning how they can actually give the details of data very often, which is with the government. And therefore, can opposition parties which are promising a policy direction, for instance, if it's about school children in a particular class that are going to be given, for instance, laptops or tablets, how will those political parties in opposition be equipped to actually provide that kind of data and information? That's a question that is coming in at the moment. What will the Election Commission's response be remains to be seen. But yes, a heated war of words already coming in on this very sensitive issue of what are freebies and what constitute freebies. If there are, of course, freebies, and we remember how Supreme Court had said if something is very basic, in terms of providing relief to a deprived section, then that, of course, perhaps cannot be called a freebie. But perhaps what constitutes it, all of these are going to be matters that will have to be discussed by the political parties and Election Commission. But the Election Commission's yesterday's move now being questioned by various opposition political parties. One will have to see how that sit-down meeting actually takes place when it does transpire later this month.